I want to start talking about Madison Square Garden, even though it happened yesterday, because I want to talk about what impact it might have. As I wrote in my newsletter this morning, the Daily Beast columnist said this probably ends Donald Trump's chances of winning the election. The New York Times said it was a racist pageant of racism and intolerance. Sean, the first thing I want to ask you, just as a process matter, how do you have an event like that and not screen the comments of a controversial comic who in the past has created controversy so bad that the Trump campaign took the uncharacteristic step of saying they don't agree with what he said, his joke about Puerto Rico. There were lots of other comments that they didn't disassociate them some. But how could the Trump campaign be so incompetent as to not screen the remarks of people at a high profile event?
I don't know that they screened the comments of people at the convention, so I don't know why they would screen them at a rally. Um, and I'm being serious about that. I mean, I think we've heard over and over again, they've had people where they said, were there any parameters at the convention speak? So I'm not sure why a rally would rise to that level. That being said, I do think based on, and as I go down rabbit holes on this comedian, I think that the history is different, right? I mean, so there's two issues. One, why would you have him speak? And the second is your question, which is why didn't you vet the comments? The vetting the comments is just not what Trump does. Having him there in the first place, knowing his history is probably where I would have started and said, based on what he has said in the past, I don't know that he's the appropriate speaker. So
I
I
mean,
think that would have been.
is he known as like a particularly important pro-Trump comic?
So I had never heard of him before. I mean, in fact, that's why I'm saying, as I kind of last night when I saw the uproar, I started a little. I can't say it was, the rally was still going on, but I was like, who is this guy? So I don't even. But I just a lot of times the word controversial in comments came
Yeah,
up. I can't
yeah.
even say I went down a ton of rabbit holes. So before anyone kills me and says like I just was trying to figure out who he was. Um, so I all I know is that when you Google him, a lot of times the word controversy comes up. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
That being said, like so
Dan,
that would have
Dan,
been.
the Harris campaign is now playing off the news, right? That's their big thing is to something happens. Trump says we're trash can. They say, how dare he call us a trash can, America. Then Harris says that, and Trump says it again. Trump doesn't seem to care about the criticism. So yesterday, they went very big on this. It is not on the homepage, not just the controversy, but the Trump event is not on the homepage of any battleground state newspaper website that I checked today. So the Harris campaign is not getting any mileage, at least on those websites, out of the controversy. But the rally itself, which the whole thing was, oh, this huge Madison Square Garden. Now, it was on cable. MSNBC and CNN took part of it live. But if the idea is to influence the battleground states or for the Harris campaign to take advantage of the controversy. So if you're the Harris campaign, is is the Puerto Rico joke and the other remarks that they've taken issue with, is that a one-day story, or you think they would continue to drive that, or put it in paid media, or would it at a minimum target an ad at Puerto Rican voters?
Yeah, I think they're going to absolutely play this up because the question is, who are the voters that you're targeting and where do they get their information? And right now, what the Harris campaign is trying to do is motivate young voters who so far in early voting are not turning out, and most data indicates are lukewarm. Where do they get all of their information? Mostly social media. This is all over social media, influencers, TikTok, Snapchat. It's all over the place. Democrats are pushing it out. When it comes to Puerto Rico, I am not a huge Bad Bunny fan. Not good or bad, but like he's all over the place. All of these Puerto Rican influencers who don't historically speak up on politics at all, because as Michael Jordan famously said, Republicans buy Nikes too, are like leaning into this. And in the case of Pennsylvania, there's 315,000 Puerto Ricans. Another group Democrats are struggling with, people of color, right? Again, I'm not sure how many are reading the, Milwaukee Sentinel Journal and the Philadelphia Inquirer. And then lastly, just those soft Republicans that we know their character and conduct of Trump is what they really, really, really don't like. And so I think given the Harris campaign made this decision 2 weeks ago to go all in on the anti-Trump message, her speech tomorrow night, yeah, sure, they're going to play this up. I mean, I don't think anyone on here could say last night helped Trump. I think the best you could do is laugh and say this is classic Trump and it's baked into my view of him. But I think Democrats are hoping that those groups they're targeting and how they're trying to target them, this is a winning message.